Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, that's better. Can you see me?
No, you've got
Hang on.
your video is
Yeah,
very.
yeah. Hang on. Now that
Hello.
should be it. Hello.
How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good. I thought I'd stay in the bedroom because the light's the best as well.
Yeah, that's why I come in here because the light's better
Yeah,
than in
yeah,
my office. That is great light. You're in
yeah.
the
Well,
really
in the
pretty.
in the dining room, it's against Dan's that big red painting, and then it gets too like bright, like it's like really reflecting, and I I hate that red painting, but anyway, whatever. As a backdrop.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping for some sun to come out. Oh, here we are. Sun's coming back out. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick intro. This is being recorded, but I'm going to get it edited.
Yes.
As I said in my message, I didn't send you a list of questions. I'd like it to flow like a conversation.
Sure.
And obviously, my business is all around money and lifestyle and how money sort of links through everything we do. And I wanted to showcase what you do. And I just want to talk about how you came and cleared out my bathroom cabinet as one of your
Sure.
services and how diagnose my skin to prescribe the right skincare for me. And in doing that, I find myself not feeling like I'm being, um, overwhelmed by so many beauty products now that I know what I'm really
Mm,
needing, and that
totally.
saves me money and so on. And then I want you to talk about tips and tricks and whatnot,
Sure.
where you can
Easy.
save and things, and just fun ways of really looking after yourselves. Okay, so I'm going to start. Here we
Okay,
go.
cool.
Thank you very much, Jules, for joining us on our Sensibility podcast. Jules Cachia is a makeup artist, spray tan artist, skincare specialist who really has a unique approach to beauty. She does my spray tans and my skincare and makeup when I need it. She also did my wedding, so I can speak highly of her and recommend her out of personal experience. So people are probably wondering, why have I got a skincare specialist like yourself on a podcast that talks about money? And I thought of you when I was thinking about lifestyle and where I've saved money and where you've actually brought in a great service. So I wanted to discuss that today. The service of going through my cabinet, you threw out a lot of stuff away.
We
Um,
certainly did.
yeah, and then you diagnose my skin. So um, I'll pass it over to you, Jules. If you could just share a bit about what you do and how it can really help people and also help our wallet at the end of the day as well.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you, Amy. Thank you for having me as part of your podcast. It's an honor. And, I agree, I think, with, in terms of sensibility and makeup and skincare, we can all go a bit crazy. Trust me, I've definitely been at fault of that plenty of times, and I'm still trying to rein it in over the years. I guess I'd get to justify it because it's my career, so I can kind of say I'm trying it. But I'm also loving the fact that I get to teach people how to streamline it, and that there's just so much choice out there in terms of skincare, makeup, tools, spray tan solutions, at home solutions. So I love to do the research that goes behind it and teach people how to bring it back a notch and not have so many products. Can be
Mm.
very, very overwhelming, and it just it's all of a sudden you open your bathroom cabinet as you did and go, I don't know what to do with that. Is that out of date? Should I be using that? Is that safe? Pregnancy, how do I take a daytime look to nighttime? Yeah, there's like a million questions that my clients ask. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what you did for me was quite an eye opener. You brought up the is this safe and the use by dates. Like, I would have had no idea. Well, I had no idea, and you showed
Mm,
me where to look for on products that are used by date, and because it's different to food, and you don't even think skincare
100%.
actually goes off. We're putting it on our, our faces or our, hands or wherever, and this is skins and organs. So you really brought me, going, oh my God, what have I been doing? What have I been looking? No wonder at the time my skin was dry and probably looking quite dull because I was thinking I was looking after myself, but I wasn't.
Mm,
So I remember that day you came in and you went through my bathroom cabinet and you threw out a lot. And
so
I even
much.
struggled with that because I was thinking, I'm looking at that like I clear out our fridge and I see fruit, food is money in some respects. And I was looking at that going, that one day, that one point cost money. Um,
Totally.
but then what happened was we invested in a small amount of product and I've not needed to go crazy and I know exactly what I need and
Yeah.
can go straight in. So, and buy what I need. Um, and I guess it's a matter of understanding what your investment is when you're looking at, health products, so skincare products, because they're just like, investing in your health and,
Yeah.
through exercise and food, it's another point of well-being. How do you, because I know you've done consulting work with, the likes of Mecca and you do work with, PR businesses. How do you express that level of investment to people who are looking to buy skincare because it can be quite expensive.
100%. It's an excellent question, and it's something that I have to answer differently for every client, or I approach it differently for every client. I guess, a really good example is, taking from your experience. And I'm like food in the fridge, it gets thrown out. I'm like, especially if it's like, if it's fruit and vegetables and cheese and things like that, like you've planned for it and you're like, oh, I haven't used that. That's such a waste. Or you've taken meat out of the freezer. So I get that too, and I'm similar as well. I'm like, oh, it's out of date. That's $90 or whatever that product was. So, but I go down deeper the layers. It's like you're trying to achieve an outcome here. So, I guess let's relate it back. It's all financial. So your clients come to you for outcomes. I know I've done that personally with you and gone, this is what I want to achieve. How do I get there? So it's the same with skincare and your skin. Do you want to look a certain way? You want to slow down the aging process, or you want to, you've got so many breakouts, rosacea, lots of skin conditions. You've got this outcome desired outcome expectation that you want to achieve. And if you're putting products on your skin that are not right, not ideal, possibly full of too many products that, or ingredients that you um, basically can't accept on your skin or you can't deal with, then you're going backwards and you're going to end up spending more time, more money,
Mm.
more effort, and you're going to look back and in 10 years time and be like, well, now I'm possibly with some clients, and I'm not afraid of injectables or anything like that, but I say to my clients, let's start it now. You're asking for this desired outcome, start it now. uh, Prevention rather than cure with in everything in life. So I do ask for a direct budget. I am very uh, specific on that. It's a very direct question. Some people get quite confronted by that as well. Sometimes that budget changes. I find it usually goes up, not down, throughout the process, because I will stick within the realms of that budget. I think I did that with you as well. As like, let's
Yep.
talk about what the budget is and what our outcomes are. But I
Mm-hmm.
also said, well, for the future or for next time, and then I think I actually grabbed you a few other products and was like, let's just do this, like you need it. And
Add
I
this
just
and add that.
insisted.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
yeah, totally. So it's it's really the most difficult part of at the beginning, where they're understanding um what they have to put in order to get out. It's the same as going to the gym, losing weight, kicking off those goals, saving
Mm.
up for something. It's the same as anything. And I've got a line that that's trademarked and copyrighted. You know, the skin you're in is the only skin that you get. So like it's our largest living organ, and
Yeah.
it is one of the last things I find that we take care of. And
Yeah.
it horrified me when I became a makeup artist and I was nicknamed the Skin Queen and I hated it. For some reason, I just had this thing where I was like, oh, I just didn't like it. And I think it was because everyone around me in a brand I was working with did such full coverage by makeup. And I was like, let's look at the skin. What are we doing here? Like, I can do a black smoky eye, I can do a big bold red lip, but now what's going on with the skin? You can have full coverage, but you can still look glowing. And
Absolutely.
you can have full coverage, but then have breakouts and they're showing. So the more makeup we put on those, sometimes the more it can bring it out. And then final step, the more makeup sometimes you put on our faces, especially if it's the wrong products and we're not doing that skin regime, washing it off, dare I say sleeping in it. You know, that's one of
I think we've been
my
guilty of that.
yeah. But we all have.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, we can wear all that amazing makeup, but it's how you take care of your skin before and afterwards. And that's why I love working with a lot of my TV clients, because they have that issue in terms of their
Yeah.
everyday work.
I just remember you prepping my face for my wedding and how much
Yes.
like it was like I was getting a full facial before the makeup came on. Like there was a mask and there was, you know, mist and moisture and all sorts of things. But I tell you, I had such glowy looks and a glowy look. And and that's what I wanted. I wanted to look fresh and glowy. I didn't want to look caked on. I wanted to look natural because
Yeah.
it's quite a vintage look that I was going for as well. And then when I look back at my photos, I really see that you achieved that, you know, because you don't notice it on the day you're
Yeah.
busy. But it's
No,
looking at the photos, that's
yeah.
when you notice. And I
I was
remember
looking at your photos
Bella's,
the other day as well and was looking at it going like,
wow, yeah,
wow,
you did a good job.
it was really I know, I loved it. Like, but
Yeah,
same again, you know, you're getting ready and you're obviously, you know, one of my best friends. So sometimes that's also, it's like, I was even more, you know, checking everything, and I'm such a perfectionist, as you
you
know.
are.
So
Yeah.
I looked back at that and went, oh, I loved it. Like, that's another hard part. Sometimes you don't get to love what you do because of the outcome, what the client wants as well. So, but yeah, you definitely looked glowy. I was very, very concerned on the morning of, but you were very
Because I
sick.
woke up with, yeah, I woke up, I
You
could
were
hardly
very
speak.
sick.
I got a cold on my wedding day. And also I get quite dry skin. So you wouldn't have known that by looking at my
No.
makeup and whatnot. And in fact,
Mm.
my skin has improved massively. Now I'm going to go back to something you said about, you know, all of these skin conditions that people do suffer. And a lot of people just go in blindly. They either go to a beautician and they buy off the shelf by the recommendation of the beautician, or they get
Yep.
sucked into a lot of MLMs. Not that I'm, you know, disregarding
No.
Roden Fields or
And
Airborne, because I
I've
think
done some of
they're
that. Yeah.
great products, but there's so much there, and we think that we're going to get the answer here and we're going to get the answer
Mm-hmm.
there, especially when you've got something like rosacea or, you know, acne, or just, you know, pimples that just come, you know, spots or blackheads, whatever the case is.
Mm.
I know from my niece, if she hadn't gone to you, and she didn't initially,
Yeah, that's right.
the amount of money that was being spent on stuff that wasn't working. So
Mm.
I look at this, and one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you is to really encourage people to invest in themselves. So money is something we earn to have two things: buy stuff or buy time.
Mm-hmm.
And in your case, it is buying product, but I also see that it also
No, you're buying time.
buying time in some
As
respects
well.
as well. And it's really
Yeah.
important that we do invest and get the experts to actually look at our skin and diagnose properly. If you don't want to, you know, we're not talking about going to see a dermatologist, but you may have to.
Yeah.
But, you know, going and seeing someone like yourself that is a skin specialist who does, you know, who has a holistic approach to, you know, skincare,
Mm-hmm.
and who can come to your home and go, right, we're going to throw all this out. We're going to do a mini facial, just sort of work on these products around and test them there. That way, before we go away and buy them, you've tried them, we've
Yeah.
tested them, and we're seeing the results here in your home. Because I can tell you, I was blown away by that service. I think everybody
Oh, I'm
needs
so
to invest
glad.
it. No, it's right. Everyone should be investing in you know, in themselves in some way, because it makes you feel better as well. I mean, we're all in, you know, we're all out there working hard. Life is expensive. But my
Yeah.
point in this was that if you're trialing all this stuff, you're spending way more than just investing in you and then buying a handful of products. Because I just know how
Totally.
much you threw in my kitchen, no, my bathroom sink. It was full.
Yeah, it
And I
was.
know that I'm frugal. So imagine someone who loves beauty products, who buys all the magazines and tries all the new makeup trends, how much they would have that they don't use or that's not even right for their skin, how much you would have to get rid of.
Yeah. No, totally. I guess, you know, around, you know, prescribing the right skincare and everything, like, you know, using, actually, an example of someone that we actually both know, and I did a skincare closet clean out for her, and it was very challenging. She demanded I do it as well, so which was really fab. I'd been wanting to do it, but she was really, you know, like, you have to do it. And you know, she still says to this day it wasn't very successful. She still get products that were out of date because of how expensive they are, or because someone told her that they were absolutely amazing. So, you know, she came back to me the other day and said, "Okay, like, you need to come and do it properly," and I just need to sit there and not say a lot. So it is really hard, and you are very frugal. So in yours as well, you know, you did really well, but it was a struggle, and I get it. You know,
Oh,
I just again.
I remember going, are you really throwing that? What?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
But I
totally.
now, and time's
But you
gone
saw it straight
on.
away though as well. Yeah, you obviously know more
Well,
now,
I'm more
but
organized. My bathroom's tidier.
yeah.
I know when I'm traveling what I'm going with.
Mm.
My skin's improved, and I don't spend so much money on stuff I don't need.
No,
And
no, you don't.
that's where it's really important, you know, to really know what is right for you, so that you
Mm.
aren't spending and doing this trial and error stuff. I
Yeah.
know so many times I've gone and bought. I mean, you've also helped me with palettes and whatnot. So, but
Okay.
in the past, I've just gone and bought something because I've been, you know, I've been away and I've got to go to, you know, the local shopping mall to buy some foundation or something, you know, or mascara because I forgot to pack it. And I'm buying the wrong stuff. That's not right for my skin. And it looks like it too. So
Mm.
having someone
We've
who's
all been there.
honest, yeah, someone
Mm.
honest like yourself, who's not going to beat about the bush, is what we kind of all need in some respects, you know?
Yeah,
Who's going to go,
totally. And I love it like so much. So, and even if I don't want people to feel like, oh, she's just doing it because she thinks that she knows what's best, and she doesn't like that product, or um she just wants me to have this brand. And you know, like, I work across so many brands
totally, you
and
do.
dermatologists, and I've worked with skincare regimes that are MLM marketing programs. So, and I have even tried them out on my own skin. So, you know, for a little while I was using one particular brand, and I won't name names because, you know, that's what it's about. But and I think I even gave you some products at one point of that brand as well. And we both get pigmentation, but you know, I found it for a while it was okay, but I honestly don't believe that 100% of the population can use these same regimes, same 5, 6 steps, and get the same results. It's pretty impossible, because we've all got different makeups, different DNA. We have different lifestyles. So even if you had two people who are sisters, twins, let's do twins, and they pretty much have the same makeup, different particles of different DNA, but do they do the same job? Do they eat the same food? Do they drink the same water? Do they live in the same place? And if they do all those things, then that's still pretty impossible that they can have exactly the same skin. So that the same brand, the same regime, the same 5, 6, 10 steps, you know, there's brands out there that are 10 steps and that's where clients do get really overwhelmed. And even
Mm,
I don't do 10 steps each day. As you know, you've traveled with me. It's about 4, 5 in the morning and at night, and then you've got
mm,
treatment things for along the way. So,
mm.
you know, it is really about finding the regime that works for you. And the hard part I find for clients is that, you know, it's not going to be the same regime ongoing. So
Mm.
what's going to work in summer is not going to work in winter. So, you know, I teach about the little swaps of different cleansers and moisturizers and adding an extra serum or adding some retinol in, you know, for hydration and anti-aging, and just little tips and tricks, you know, along the way. So,
Yeah.
and when you're, you know, we're attending events and things, you know, I have to go to a lot of events. Like this morning, who were looking at my face all morning, and I was feeling quite tired and quite dry. So, you know, face mask on, you know, until the absolute last minute that I could do my makeup. You know, I had a bold red lip on this morning, so, you know, making sure that looks absolute perfection. And then, yeah, not wanting to touch up as well is another thing I
Mm.
like to teach, because, you know,
Yeah.
the more makeup you're putting on, it's annoying going to the bathroom or not, or you're applying extra makeup. So there's lots of elements that I can teach, but I find the holistic approach is that you've got to want to learn, and
Yes.
you've got to want to go take a step back. We all do it. It's the conversations I've had with you about finances and planning. It's the conversations I have with my business coach. I had a conversation about it at International Women's Day event on Sunday. It's about loving yourself. So if you love yourself enough, you know, what are you going, you know, are you going to do the things that you need to do to take care of you, to make you the best version of yourself without having to cover your makeup, your skin with makeup
Yeah.
all the time?
100%. Yeah. And look, that's also one of the things that motivated me to do these podcasts is about empowering. It's empowerment.
Yeah.
And when you feel good about yourself, when you look good, when you know, it just, and I know makeup with most women can really boost confidence, but so does great skin. Now, not everybody will be able to have access to you directly for a one-on-one, or, you know, everyone's on different types of income streams
Mm.
and budgets and whatnot. So you are now starting to bring into the market your workshops as well.
Yeah, and
So,
they're kicking off. I've got a massive one tomorrow, which is amazing, which I'm so excited for.
so
But
can
yeah,
you
it's
tell?
really kicking off.
So can you tell us a bit about that? Where you kind of, obviously you're not going to go to everyone's bathroom cabinets and have them throw stuff out, but what do you go? What do you do? What's your process with your workshop?
So yeah, so I ask each person that's attending 3 things that they would like to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually contact them prior, just to clarify a little bit. It also gives that personal approach, especially if it's people I've never met before, or they might be a little bit hesitant about, you know, possibly taking their makeup off if they always wear makeup, and especially if I've always seen them wear makeup. Being a makeup artist, people are always like, oh my God, don't look at my face. And, you know, it's quite funny. I never really comment on people's faces, or if I haven't told you to change something, then you generally don't need to change something, especially if you're a close friend of mine. It happened at an event this morning. I was like, do I look good? I was like, if I'm not touching your face or asking to, then, you know, it looks great. So, you know, people can be quite intimidated by coming to an event, even if it is, you know, in a warm environment of my home, or of their friend's home or their home. So getting that intimate conversation going is very important to me, because it's a lot of trust. And at one point I may be touching their face, because I don't want to be focused just on one person being a model. I want everyone to learn. So I also ask them, is there anything that they own or currently use that they love but don't really know what they're doing with? Or and then also on another layer of that, is there a product that they've always been fascinated by that they want to buy but they're just not sure of?
Mm.
Maybe it's price, or maybe it's knowledge around the product, or accessibility and things like that, because, you know, I do stock a lot, so I can take things along the way. Some of the workshops I ask them to actually bring their makeup bag. The workshop I'm doing tomorrow, I'm asking them to bring their basic regime,
Wow.
because they're mature age women. They're both very successful, but time poor. Both travel a lot. I do their makeup professionally, probably about once a month, and we're constantly doing tips and tricks along the way. And they'll send me little photos and things of products when they're traveling, what to buy. But, you know, there's some things that I think that they could do better, in terms of making their skin glow more, smoother, anti-aging. One of them, I'm so proud of her. She's actually got rosacea, and she's using the anti-redness products that I've recommended to her. And she's like, look at my skin, Jules, I'm doing what I'm told. And it's really fabulous to see that. So she's really excited to look at some makeup that's a bit more natural, rather than having to try, and she feels like she has to cover that rosacea. So I do face charts on the day. I send a skin consultation form out as well, which I've now done into a Google format. So it can be completely online. So when I add notes into it, they can add notes into it. And that just gives me, you know, utmost preparation for going into the day. I set it up with mirrors. We do champagne and cheese and make it all, you know, nice and fun. And it is sometimes a bit overwhelming for everybody because there's lots of questions and it's all very exciting. But, you know, my aim is to, you know, what's your top 3 objectives to get out of the day? So I keep going back to that. And then, you know, they've obviously got access to me afterwards. And I'm starting to do a little bit more and tips and tricks on Instagram, post those workshops and post questions that I have from clients. Like I write them down, I'll put them in my notes. Because a lot of people have lots of questions, and it's nice to better have access to someone that's, you know, just sometimes giving it. I know that when I learn something from Instagram or from a client or a friend, that, you know, I'm so grateful. So yeah, it helps the world go around.
Yeah. And you're quite unique compared to the other makeup artists and skincare specialists that I follow on social media, because you're not product pushing. And something I notice about you is, you're not doing this to be an influencer in that respect. You want to influence in terms of empowering and educating. So your tips and tricks don't actually have to have use this product, or today I'm testing this product. And that's great. People do that. And I like actually reading blogs. I always follow Mamma Mia, and they've got their beauty blog.
Totally.
Tried and tested more because I find it fascinating what someone's going to put themselves through for the purpose of a beauty blog. But, you know, what you're doing is actually just bringing it down to bare bones and going, you know, moisturize. And, you know, before, like I read one of yours about making sure your tan lasts longer. And if you are going to be investing in a spray tan, well, really important that you want that to last as long as you can, like a good week, without looking patchy or anything like that. So those tips are really helpful, and they aren't going, this is brought to you by whatever, you know. So, you know, I did want to say that. So if anyone wants to actually follow you, that sort of, they could expect to get that sort of down to earth approach from you.
Yeah, definitely.
As well. Now, I've got a fly just buzzing by me. I'm noticing that I'm not wearing any makeup here, so I'm looking a bit, compared to you.
Remember, there's no. Apparently, it's because I've been in an event this morning. Like I blow dried my hair, and I was
looking
photographed, so I had to. I've got more makeup on than I normally would wear.
You
know, day to day, as you know.
Absolutely. But you've got this amazing skin, and again, a testament to what you do. Your skin is...
Today I do. Totally.
It is amazing. So, you know, it's always glowing. We don't have to wear makeup. I don't really wear much myself.
No, you don't really need to though either. So yeah, if you don't need to, you know, I think it's fabulous. Pop on a bit of mascara and a lip balm.
That's exactly what I've got on.
Yeah,
exactly what I'm doing. Exactly. Yeah. Bit of bronze.
But then if someone wants a full coverage style, then that's also okay. But I like to. I've got a client that I love what she does. She always wears full coverage makeup, but I can see her skin, and her skin is so smooth underneath. Like she's not wearing full coverage to cover. She's wearing it because she likes the style of it. So she's not trying to cover up imperfections or things, because her skin is perfect and smooth. So yeah.
And one thing I wanted to also, I'm doing a bit of a Jules plug here, but you do work with adolescents as well.
Yes, a lot. Love it. It's one of my many passions. But yes, because it's that age that we need to start teaching them. Well, I've got, you know, a 5-year-old. She's learning now, you know, wash my face, and she tries to moisturize her face. But yeah, adolescence, hormones, and definitely the holistic approach of vitamins and things like that we just are not thinking about when we're older.
Yeah. Well, I know you've looked at what my boys use on their skin, and you've also helped my niece. And that I've seen her confidence, and she
I know,
has,
I love her skin now.
yeah, it's
So
really,
good.
really improved. And also for teenage girls, recommending the right type of makeup for acne prone skin.
Definitely. Definitely. And there's a lot of, I'm not a doctor. I am a skin therapist. So I'm not a nurse. I'm like 1 year off being a nurse. Injectables, not afraid of them, but I wasn't interested in doing them myself. So I do work with a lot of dermatologists. So I'm constantly consulting. So I'm almost a bit like if someone goes to have an injectable, there's a phone call. Look, I've had them, so I know that sometimes there's a phone call. If you go to a nurse, they'll often call a doctor. But skin conditions, a lot of people are putting down to girls. We'll talk about females just for a second. Periods, and endometriosis, and celiacs is another good one. So they often blame their skin based on a health condition. A lot of times I have found that definitely if you change the products along the way and changing eating habits and things like that can work for those health conditions. So then the skin condition does clear up. But a lot of it sometimes is once again genetic makeup. So clients, I'll say, like, does your mum or your dad get breakouts in that area? Do they get red in that area? Usually 9 times out of 10 they're a yes. So a lot of it is genetics and DNA makeup. So there is a vitamin that I do use. It's the only product I actually ever plug because its makeup is 8 times the amount. It's fish oil, and we've spoken about this. It's 8 times the amount that you can get over the counter. So it's legal. It's from Queensland, but I literally give it to most of my adolescent clients if I can get it into them quick enough. And then even clients along the way where they've talked about their children to me, because fish oil, we all think that oil produces more oil. But if you get a glass of water, and perhaps I probably should have done it because it would look really cool, a glass of water and put a drop of olive oil in it, what happens? What does the oil do?
It'll come to the surface.
Yeah, totally, it does. So if there's oil on the surface of the skin and there's breakouts occurring, that is deep down 43 layers of skin, down the levels of the epidermis. And there's all these diagrams of things, but a lot of people find them quite boring. And that's why I talk about the glass of water. So oil actually counteracts oil. So fish oil, so many essential fatty acids. People are like, I'll have a piece of fish. I'm like, so you're going to do that 100 times a day and there's so much mercury in it. And the fish where you can get that's literally like for that pure of those capsules is only from Ayers Rock. Like I know Jessica Malboy still gets fish in, and that's how her skin is so glowing. But yeah, fish oil, in terms of the oil levels to the surface, that's why breakouts occur, is that there's not enough oil deep down. So basically it's trapped. So it's coming up and it's exploding. And then it continues to explode sometimes in patches. They can hurt. You'll find most clients get breakouts in the same place every
I remember
time.
when I was a teenager, I used to get them around here.
Yes. Do you still get them there?
No, I don't really get them anymore.
Yeah, good. No, I've never noticed that you get them there.
No.
I know the breakout that I get, and it's usually probably around that time of the month, or I've been super stressed, or I have not drunk enough water. I find my water levels, even though only 1% of what you drink goes to your entire skin, so it's not just your face, says she who drinks water. Yeah, it's always in the same place. So, going back to the skin and oil, and that's where people go, right, I need to strip it. I need to exfoliate. I need to scrub it. And you're literally aggravating that skin even further. And what your skin is asking for is actually water and oil, but in the best way forward. So that's where adolescents, you know, I remember working across lots of brands, and clients would come into clinics and stores and for their children and would go, I want to get this and this. And I'd be like, no, we're not going down that path. You know, putting lots of pimple treatments, you know, salicylic acid on them, which can help definitely little bits of greater along the way or overnight underneath the moisturizer. But, you know, let's break it down really simple, because I've gone down, a path of layers. So to keep it simple, wash your face, get the right cleanser. I'm talking adolescents here. Right cleanser, toner. I'm a bit old school. It's very Asian oriented, which I love. A lot of Asian skincare, as you know, Japanese, Koreans, they tone, they essence. And a lot of that is that, like for me, makeup tonight, I've got a full face of makeup on. So I will literally do a cleansing oil to remove my makeup, and then I double cleanse, and then I'll use a toner. And a toner actually helps gently almost exfoliate the dead skin cells, but smooth out the skin surface and lifts any extra makeup, dirt, pollution or grime off the skin before you're going in serums and moisturizers. So, you know, you're never too young. If I was to put an age on it, unless the youngest client I've ever had with pimples in a female was 9. And yeah, which is really young. Had some health conditions though along with that, so I did a really gentle simple cleanser. She was a dancer as well, so wearing makeup and things at a young age. So a really gentle cleanser that she would, you know, use twice a day, morning and night, double cleanse at night, especially if you had makeup on, and then a really gentle moisturizer. She is now 12, and we've just added a toner in there, and then she wears sunscreen. Sunscreen's a big thing. Boys are the same, hormones, which we've talked about with your boys as well, but just a gentle cleanser. I know one of your boys, I won't mention names, was like, I'm not washing my face with that, Jules. So I was like, yeah, you are. Just try it. It's the same as washing your body. It's the same as putting deodorant on. Like, you know,
and they cover themselves in that stuff.
totally, boys' locker room. Not that I've ever been in one. But yeah, like just the same as washing your body or washing your hands, washing your hair. Yeah, wash your face in the right way.
And what for mature skin, because you've given us a bit of a bit of insight to adolescent skin, what would your biggest or best takeaway for mature skin would be?
Oh God, that's a tough one.
It's a bit of a loaded question, isn't it? Because
it's a very big loaded question.
We want everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Women are like, no more pigmentation, no more lines, you know, brighter skin.
Okay, sunscreen. Let's go back there.
Sunscreen.
So,
great.
So because that covers all ages as well, I'm actually allergic to sunscreen. So I'm really passionate about sunscreen. In terms of finding, I will do a brand plug here because it's an awesome sunscreen. There's 2 that I've used. One is Aspect, because it doesn't have the ingredients that I am allergic to, and the levels of the zinc oxide are quite strong, and they offer it in a range of different products as well. I had no breakouts from it. The other one is a Mecca one. Jo Horgan developed that sunscreen, and because she just saw a gap in the market, and that sunscreen is amazing as well. I'm unfortunately allergic to that one, but that one works a lot on my clients, and I will always carry that with me, and I use that body sunscreen on my family as well. So mature age, it's never, I think the biggest thing I always say, it's never too late to start, because in 10 years time, you're going to come back to me and go, well, Jules, who's your best injectable nurse? Because you haven't done what you should have did 10 years ago. You know, if I could look back at my 25-year-old self, because I'm 35 this year, God,
You're a baby.
But I would probably say that simplify it, like we talk about. So, you know, cleanse, tone, moisturize, see an expert, like just do that one off, you know, whether it's me or someone else.
100%.
Don't go and see a dermatologist unless you have a friend that's a dermatologist, or unless you have a very specific skin condition, or you've got a mole or a breakout. We've talked about that. I've sent you to dermatologists in the past. I had I thought it was a pimple on my shoulder that I even got my husband to try and look at, etc. And I'm qualified to look at and extract, but it ended up becoming a cancerous mole that I didn't know. So I went and saw a dermatologist, Stephen, that I do a lot of work with, and he, I refer clients to him only on a basis of skin conditions. So see a skin therapist, try and work out a bit of a regime around something really simple, and that can delay the aging process. And stop trying to cover with makeup.
And it will save you a lot of money if you start early.
Yeah, that one fee, I guess. So, what are the things that we don't flinch at? So, we don't flinch at going out for dinner, do we? Like going out for dinner, or we don't flinch at, and I definitely don't flinch at going at a nice bottle of champagne several times a week if I can fit it in. So like it's the fee for a skin consult, it's, you can get some tips and tricks, and with me, you come back and then, and just even send me a text or an email or over phone call. I love it when clients are walking through, dare I say it, Sephora or Mecca, and they're like, no, I want this product. And if the person argues with them, they'll ring me and be like, my makeup artist or skin therapist is on the phone. And I'm like, please don't tell me, because they do know who I am in a lot of those stores. And they'll be like, no, she's on the phone. This is what she's told me to buy. So
I've done that. I've done that.
Totally. So keep it really simple, find someone that you know and trust. And I think I did a post on social media recently about it, and we talked about it as well, where don't copy what your best friend, your mum, your sister, your flatmate, your husband. Some people like just do what their husbands are doing. Because it's not the same. Just because it works for them doesn't mean it works for you. And I guess it goes back to that age-old saying, if I jumped off a bridge, would you? Your skin is your skin. So, you just don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple.
Yep. Agree. 100%. When you brought that conversation of, what's the value of, someone wants to go and drink, champagne or go out for dinner.
Gym membership. It's a gym membership for your skin.
Yeah, it is actually. I look at it as a currency. So we all have our own currency. Some people value the high-end handbag, whereas I, as you know, would have a collection of lots of handbags. So I go with the medium end. I go because of my lifestyle. But I mean, it depends. Some people will go on, you have one bag and that's it. Whereas they feel more comfortable in having a nice cash cushion in their savings account and not spend money on things on themselves. So I guess it really comes down to what is our currency for things like this. If we do have the desire to really look good and feel good about our skin, it's about working out, well, what can we afford, and starting from there, which is sometimes where it's important to speak to advisors like myself, get money coaching.
Yeah,
if you don't,
100%.
Money coaching sometimes helps people, enable them to spend money because they have so much fear about it. They have a negative relationship with money. So in that case,
it's emotional.
100%. I've said to clients, you're earning it. I can see with this savings plan, with this investment plan, with this superannuation, I can see when the money's going to run out. So you can afford to do something for yourself and enjoy it because you're working for it. And that way you're not so resentful, unhappy about earning it.
Totally.
So it does come down to a value, a sense of purpose, sense of worth, and their own sense of currency around what they want to spend their money, what people will spend their money on. So when it comes to how much people are prepared to do this, invest in themselves, it is a very individual thing, as individual as our skin is. But I do recommend people do invest, go and see someone like you, as opposed to going and just trialing and error and listening to the people over the counter trying to sell them product, because it's going to cost far more long term. I know that because I saw my bathroom sink the day that you emptied my cabinets and said, that's all got to go. No, but I mean, that brings it to light. And you same, with people who buy without getting a consultant for their wardrobe. They're buying all these clothes because they've got a new event to go to. So they go and rush the shops to buy a new dress when they've got 20 other dresses that they could use. But they're
It's
just
what we
not.
all used to do when we were younger, I think, isn't it? Like, I thought
Yeah.
that's what we, go out on a Friday night, you'd buy a new outfit. I was talking to one of my besties about it the other day. Her name's Amy
Yeah.
as well. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
Bought a new outfit. Whereas,
And it's the same
now
as
it's,
makeup.
yeah, no, totally, totally. I also think that we rationalize what we spend money on, which you would know a lot about. People justify what
Yes,
they
100%.
spend money on.
Justify is a good word.
And that's why I feel like, when we're talking about products and budgets and things like that, even I myself, there's certain brands that I won't, I'll be like, oh, what's the benefit in that? Like, I look at the ingredients and there's other brands that have got the exact same ingredients. Does it have the same outcome? From trial and error for me, yes, a lot of them do, definitely. But then there's other products that there is one moisturiser I won't name drop, but you've seen me use it, that I'll use it occasionally before a big event. It's absolutely delicious. It's got a very high-end price point. And now that I don't work for that particular brand, then, I buy it full price. But I use a little bit of it. So I also say that to clients, if have the luxury items that you don't use all the time. It's funny, I only apply it in my skincare and makeup. I don't apply it in my champagne. Champagne's always, there's never an everyday champagne for me. It's always just great champagne. But skincare, if it's got the same ingredients, or makeup, or like the mascara that I use, I'm wearing now, is a $40 mascara. It's not a $70, it's not an $80 mascara. The primer I'm using today is a $30 primer. Like, it's all not, like, it doesn't have to be high end. Those products I love, glowy skin, and I love the outcomes that I get that on my clients, even if it is going to be more of a matte look. So look at a lip balm. A lot of people are using lip balms they shouldn't be using. Once again, I won't name drop, but there is one that we all use, or that even my husband still uses it. It's full of petroleum. It's full of petroleum. And literally, you will go through one of those tubes per every tub of something else that I could recommend, or anyone else could recommend, going to Mecca or Sephora or even David Jones.
Yeah.
And it would last 3 times. 3 times. There's a lip balm I have. It's literally beside me right now, actually. I put it on just before. I put it on at night. It is $95. Guess how often I buy it? Once a year. And it's made of pure rose water. And I put it on. Yes, I'll get you one. Your next question. I put it on every night. Even my husband starts to I'd hide it from him. And my little girl Mila's like, oh my God, I love that because it smells yummy. But it smells pure. Whereas an everyday lip balm, I actually use it. I think the one I use is like $12, but it's vitamin E oil. Like, it's made of, it's got not much in it. So yeah, it's, you don't have to have those we can have high-end products, definitely, but it doesn't have to have that high price point. Buy it on sale, buy it on bundles, hop online, buy it when you are overseas. There are some brands that you can definitely buy cheaper, Charlotte Tilbury being one, overseas. So, look at what is most important to you. And I think I've done that with you as well with, is it that you've got problematic skin and we need to focus around that you haven't washed your face very well and we need to work out the right cleanser? Do we focus more there? Are you extremely hydrated but get really kind of funny breakouts, or you're getting a bit of rosacea? So we'll focus around, a serum that's targeted for that. Do you need more masks, sheets, overnight masks because you travel for work or you're on television? Then let's spend the money there. So treatment products as well, treatment masks and things, and retinol and things like that, they last a long time. So, you buy a bigger pack or a bigger bottle, or you buy that product and use it maybe once a week. So it's, what we justify to ourselves, once again, is imperative to how we look at skincare, but then also imperative to how we look at ourselves and how we love ourselves. And if you buy that gift for someone else, why wouldn't you? buy it for yourself. I think
Mm.
that's, just work out what's most important to you.
Yeah. I think value yourself and look after yourself. We as women
100%.
often don't. Yeah. And being, yeah. Well, that's one thing I love about this sort of forum where I'm talking to women. Every woman I speak to, asks, well, I think every single woman so far that I'm talking to is self-employed. But if they're not, they're doing something side project that's always got to do with empowering other women or helping other women along the way. I do obviously tie it back into our finances, but money's in everywhere, in every shape. You know, it comes into everything.
Totally.
So I wanted to share that, you know, share you with others so that one, they can know about your service. I've definitely benefited from it. And two, I look at it as an investment. So I'm saying if you're wanting to, you know, invest in yourself, improve your skincare and whatnot, then don't go and waste money and do trial and error. Go and get someone who's got that expertise. Speak to someone like Jules. So I want to know, Jules, where do people find you?
Yep.
Have you got websites, Instagram, social media?
Yeah, all of that. So my website is, so everything's in my name. So my website is www.julescachia.com.au. My Instagram is at Jules Cachia. I've even got, I just remembered actually, speaking of Zoom calls and things, that I have a Zoom call later this week with a client that is actually living overseas at the moment, just to do a consult on her skin. You know, obviously sometimes that's a little bit challenging because a lot of what I do is very personable and in touch.
Yeah.
So I ascertain, because things that, it's an automatic reaction when I say, how does that feel? People touch face. And what I mean is like, how is your skin feeling? Like, do you feel like you've got makeup on? Do you feel like congested, etc.? So, you know, we can do a call. My email address is hello@julescachia.com.au. So yeah, you can contact me at any point, or, you know, obviously my mobile number as well. I have people text me all the time, little questions and things. So yeah, going back, let's tie it back into money as well. You know, in having that skin consult, and then me, like I've actually did one on the weekend, and we'd never met before. She had been recommended by one of my spray tan clients, and they started following me on Instagram. And she's like, I just loved your tips and tricks and how authentic you were. And I was obviously very flattered and very grateful, because I you know, do really feel that I am that way. And she came to me with a list of things that she wanted to get straight up, and I had some of those products. So I gave her the option, but by the time we got through it, she's like, I need to take those products right now. So I saved her from having to go out and make those decisions, look through ingredients. A lot of stores give you little sample pots, but the damage that you can sometimes do by trialing 8 different products at the one time, and then if you buy maybe say 3 of those, you know, it's definitely sometimes a waste of money. And when I have to do those beauty clean outs, I secretly love it, but then I also feel quite sick, because I'm like, landfill, how much waste. And then I'm also like, my clients have spent so much money, and if only they'd had me come in maybe 12 months ago, or someone like me, then I could have stopped that. But you know, it's all about moving forward. We don't look back. So but yeah, just with those beauty clean outs, I do love it. I did one of my own the other day, and even that was a little bit concerning. My husband commented on how much more room he had in cupboards. Because he has a lot of skincare in there as well. There's always a call from the bathroom about what he should be using. I now have his products and mine, because obviously very different skin. He just likes to steal my stuff. But yeah, like, and even I was a bit horrified with myself, and I was like, okay, rein it in. And you know, I made a list of things that I needed, and then wanted. Another thing I do with clients when they've got a tight budget, or a budget in general: what do you need? What do you want? What's right now? What's 3 months? Going back to the same thing into money, investing. Okay, what can we do right now? And what can we do for the future? You know, I know that you've definitely helped me with that along the way as well. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I'm actually
My
holding one
pleasure.
of your workshops, so I'm really excited because
Yes, so excited.
yeah. So if you can't, you know, get Jules a one-on-one, definitely consider the workshops that she's doing. I'm pretty sure you're probably happy to take that interstate if it's worthwhile, if you've got a few teed up.
100%.
I know that you've travelled even to the US for work, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think reach out to her. Don't be worried about where she's located, because she's fantastic, even if it's a Zoom consult initially. But yeah, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it, and I hope
No, my
everyone's
pleasure.
enjoyed
I loved it.
the podcast.
Anytime.
Okay, thanks. I'm gonna wind it up now. I'll just